It's Klayton and welcome to episode 28 of Ask Celldweller. I usually point out ridiculous holidays that this show airs on, and today's is so ridiculous that I can't even bring myself to talk about it. So, it might as well be Bring Your Pet Piranha to Class Day. So the last episode of Ask Celldweller aired on National Bad Poetry Day, and I asked you guys to participate, and you did. Let's check this out. Well, Devin, I can simplify this whole process by pointing you to this link, because I've already answered that question in depth, and there's a whole video dedicated to it, and there's a lot of cool info in there, so check it out. I don't believe in luck, but you're in luck, because there are some End of an Empire remixes coming, and that's because there is going to be an official End of an Empire remix contest. Now, the details have not been announced, but you guys have already voted on the song, and the song that you picked was End of an Empire. So that's coming, and I hope that the announcement is coming very soon, and it will be open to anybody who wants to participate. And so I'm looking forward to some really cool remixes coming from that.
Hey Clayton, this is Anthony from Ontario, Canada. Anyway, first question is, I noticed that you released that Black Star novel, which is a fiction-based story that goes along with the album. I think that's a really cool idea. It's awesome. I want to get a copy. Anyway, would you ever consider releasing like a biography, like a book showing your career, or maybe a documentary showing how you got where you are today and your life story or whatever? I think that'd be pretty cool.
Anthony, let me first start by saying that you have one of the cutest cats I've ever seen in any video submitted. And to everyone else who's watching, if you're going to submit a video question, feel free to include your pets, because they're cool and I love seeing them. So interesting that you would ask that question. I don't feel inclined to really want to write a book about my life, because I don't think my life is that interesting, mainly because I'm living it. So to me, my life is probably pretty boring. But along those lines, I can justify doing a documentary around the making of End of an Empire. So in process right now is a full featured documentary called Start of an Empire that's going to be revolving around the making of End of an Empire, not only how I'm doing it, and you're going to be in the vocal booth with me, and you're going to watch me be playing guitar and playing with synths and programming. There's interviews with my whole company, even people outside of my company. There's exposés on all of the art and kind of the meaning behind it, and there's a lot of information, and it's coming your way, hopefully this fall. So stay tuned, because rolled into this whole story is some of my back history.
And question 2, I also noticed that you play a lot of Schecter guitars live. I'm a big fan of Schecter, so what led you on to Schecter, and do you use them in the studio too, or do you just do them live? All right, thanks man. Cheers, take care.
Yes, I use Schecter guitars, and primarily the reason I got Schecter guitars is because when I bought them many, many years ago, that was what I could afford. I have not procured an endorsement from any company, although I was in talks to Schecter, but somewhere along the way they kind of dropped the ball on that. So I have no loyalty to them. I guess when the guitar company steps up and says, hey, we'd love you to endorse our product, then I will talk about that product all the time. But for now, I have Schecter guitars, but I also have Les Pauls, which I love. I have a Variax, which I love. And I have an old Epiphone that my brother gave me, which is kind of a Strat style, which I use a lot. I use it almost in every track. And even though people would look at that guitar and say, oh, it's a beater, it is a beater, and it sounds great, and I love it. You are correct. I am not an engineer, and I am smart enough to never try to be one. So I would never really design a hardware synth, or let me be more specific. I was going to, with a team of people that I was hiring to do that for me, and decided that it probably wasn't the best move right now. But I did something even better. I made a lot of samples using all of my hardware. I produced a ton of bass loops, synth loops, drum loops, one-shots, all kinds of things. And I am packing them all together into an instrument that I've been working on for over a year. And I have a master coder who is taking what I want to do and what my vision is, and we're making a contact instrument here that's going to be loaded with thousands of my samples. And what's even better about that is that you don't have to just hit a key and play back the samples I make. This instrument is meant to mash all of the samples together and you come up with many variations. So I use this instrument myself using my own sounds because most of the time I end up with something that sounds completely different than just the raw stuff that I'm giving you with the instrument. So the instrument, which is under the Sonics line, my Sonics producer pack, which came out last year, it'll be under that line, but it'll be more widely available. And I'm hoping to announce it this year and hopefully release it this year. At the very worst case scenario, it'll be early next year. Keep an eye out because that announcement is coming.
Hey Klayton, do you have any special tips, tricks, or techniques for protecting that wonderful voice of yours?
Snake Lady Greta. Yes, I have a ritual that I often do right before doing vocals. I take a 2 liter of Mountain Dew and I gargle with it. But what ends up happening is you're supposed to spit it out when you're done gargling. I end up drinking the whole thing, get really amped up, and then I scream, and then I can't talk for a week. The truth is that as much as I'd like to say that I have been very clinical about my voice and how to protect it and utilize it, I actually learned how to use it by just touring and making a lot of mistakes. And by doing that, I learned how to actually sing the right way, although I did end up damaging my voice in the process. So I used to sing really well like the Bee Gees, but I can't anymore because I ruined my whole high register. So my audition for the new generation of the Bee Gees has been canceled. They told me I'm out because I can't hit those falsetto notes.
All right. You can do it, buddy. Come on, you can do it. All right. You're right, I can. I'm jumping in, coach. Go get him, Tiger.
There is an update on the Dunes, and the update is I am actively working on the score right now. I've already gotten principal photography, a rough cut of the whole film, and I've already started temp scoring some pieces in there, and have been meeting with director Grant Moorman, kind of going through the process, and there's a lot more coming. So I'm going to be a very busy boy because between that and scoring season 3 of Killer Instinct, in addition to everything else I already do, my plate's pretty full. But you will certainly be updated on the Dunes, so please stay tuned on that. As far as Scandroid, for those who don't know, Scandroid is Red, and Red is my clone. And he does exist 500 years in the future, so there is a corporation that basically monitors and aids us in communicating back and forth. So I am in the process of helping him, taking his songs from his time frame, bringing them into the modern day, and basically mixing them for him so that we can release them to you right now. Not only is there a new song coming from Scandroid, but there is a full album in the works right now that looks like it's going to be hitting sometime next year, hopefully early next year, because I'm as excited as you guys are to hear what he's going to do. The answer is unquestionably yes. I did discover something new in the process, and I also revisited something old, and I brought back some of kind of the things that made me excited about making music in the first place, and I kind of ditched some of the preconceived notions and expectations I had put on myself as far as what I wanted to do musically, and decided for this album, especially because I was doing it 100% myself, no outside input, I was going to do whatever I felt like doing. So I discovered that using a lot of hardware and all of my new modular toys and analog synthesizers added a whole new dynamic and a whole new sound to the process, which was a lot of work, and I'm really proud of it, and I think it really changed the sound of my record in a good way. And again, going back to something old, I kind of approached some programming and some ideas much like I would have maybe in the early Circle of Dust days.
So hey Celldweller, it's Cody, and I've been a long-time fan of yours since Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005. So my question for you is, when it comes to YouTube video projects, what are your rules on the music being used, and what kind of stuff do you encourage? Obviously it's so easy to just put your music into a video game, but if somebody wanted to do something really, really cool, what would you encourage them to do in a YouTube video that is video game related?
Thank you, Cody, and I am glad that you found me through Need for Speed Most Wanted. It was great being part of that game. The great news is you can use any Celldweller or fixed artist or song completely in your YouTube videos, depending on your settings and partnership. Just go to fixedmusic.tv to check out all of our different programs. And happy gaming. Thank you guys for hanging in there for episode 28 of Ask Celldweller, for all of your bad poetry, and for your kittens. As always, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm almost at 100,000 followers. Like or share this post, and I want to hear your questions and see your pets. So submit a video question by hitting this cool link in the moon, or if you're a little more shy or your pet is a little shy, you can just ask them below in the comments. Until next time, this is Klayton signing off. Meow.
Yeah,